Hey everybody, and welcome to day 3, week 1 of quarantine. And today we're going to be making something really awesome. We are going to be making an icosahedron globe right here. So for everybody who tuned in earlier today when we did the live feed, thanks for coming back and watching our retake of this. Internet connections, right? You never know what's going to happen with them. So to make your icosahedron globe, you're going to need a few things. First, you're going to need our printables like this, so they should be in your packages. If you don't have our printables, you're going to need some regular printer paper. You're also going to need a ruler or straight edge, a pair of scissors like this. You can use a glue stick. I'm going to use hot glue today because it is the easiest and it just works the best, I find. You can also use double-sided tape. That works pretty good as well. Some pencil crayons. You are going to need a permanent marker or an alcohol-based marker for this, anything that's going to mark plastic. Make sure you have a pencil sharpener with you if you've got pencil crayons. And you are going to need a plastic bag like this, or any kind of clear plastic that's easily cuttable. And that's it there. So pretty simple craft. And I just want to make sure that everybody has put in their happy thoughts into their jar. I put this morning that I really like the snow. I have to like it because we've got so much snow in Canada right now, especially in Edson, which is where I live. So I put snow in here, and there's lots of fun things you can do in snow, especially snowball fights. I like hitting my brother with a snowball. That's the best. So that's what I put in here. You guys should put down in the comments what you put in your happy thought jars today. I'd really like to hear what you guys have. So our icosahedron globes here are really cool. They've got a bunch of different features. This is the one that I made earlier today. I did kind of a old-fashioned globe here, the different muted colors. And so icosahedrons are neat because they are made up of 20 equilateral triangles. An equilateral means that the 3 sides of the triangle are the same length. And so there's 20 of those on this globe. And if you look at it from this way, this shape here is a pentagon, which is 5 sides. Oops, 5 sides. So it's got another shape in it there. This has 12 vertices, and a vertices is a corner. So 12 of them on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flip it over. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there are 30 edges. So this is an edge right here. So we've got 30 of those, and then again 20 faces. So if you are making these at home and you don't have our printables, I want to show you how to make an equilateral triangle. It's really easy. So you're going to need your piece of printer paper here, just like this guy. And you're going to want to figure out how big you want your triangles to be, how long the one side, I guess all 3 sides are going to be. So I'm actually going to make a great big triangle. So I'm going to measure the width of our page, which is 21.5 centimeters. So I need to remember 21.5 centimeters. I'm going to fold my page, folding it like a hot dog, not a hamburger. Fold my page. And I'm going to take my ruler here, and I'm going to line my ruler up with the corner of my page, and then I'm going to move my ruler so that it lines up to 21.5 centimeters up on the top, and I'm going to draw a line there. So you should have a line down here, and now we're just going to cut it with our scissors. So just cut that. And here you have an equilateral triangle. So you would need 20 of these to make your icosahedron. So I made a bunch of these guys earlier today. So here's one. So you won't be able to do exact map like I did on mine, but you can color your triangles however you want and then glue them or tape them together, which would be really cool. If any of you guys do that, please show me because I would love to see that. Now, if you are joining us and you do have the printables, I want you to pull out the printables, and we are going to start with page number 1. You should see a number 1 up here. And this is right here, that's Antarctica here, and here we have, what do we have here? I believe this is South America right here. So we are going to color this in, and so I've already done a traditional blue and green globe, and then I did this kind of old classic one. So I'm gonna do a different style this time, I think. What should I do this time to color it? I think I'm gonna do purple for the water. So I'm gonna start coloring this in here. And you guys could use markers to color yours in, or you could paint it if you want to do that. That would be pretty cool. You could also use pastels or crayons. Crayons would work really good for this too. I'm really gonna like this purple. This is gonna be really cool. I like this color. So make sure that you remember where the water is and where the land is. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but my first globe that I was doing, I was chit-chatting with Tara, and I colored over Russia with blue, and it's meant to be land, so it should be green, and then I had to color over top of it. So don't make the same mistake as me by coloring in the wrong area. Alright, color that all in. Man, I'm going through this pencil crayon really quick. I'm going to have to sharpen it here pretty soon. And I'm still deciding what color I'm going to do the land. So I don't know if you guys know where Antarctica is. Antarctica is at the South Pole. So that is the southernmost tip of the planet. And it's one of the least discovered places, explored places in the world. It's where all of the penguins live. Now here's a bit of a trick question for you guys. Are there polar bears where there are penguins? So if there's penguins living in the South Pole, are there polar bears there? What do you guys think? So there are not polar bears. And you always see in commercials and in movies that there are polar bears and penguins together, but they don't live together. Now, do we have polar bears in Canada? What do you guys think? Yes, we do. We do have polar bears in Canada, which is really cool. We don't have any in Alberta. Maybe in the southern tip, northern tip of Alberta, maybe there's one that comes in every so often, but not like Manitoba or Nunavut or Northwest Territories. Those places have lots of polar bears. Almost finished coloring here. So I got all of that bottom part done now, or the water part, and now I'm gonna figure out what to do for my land here. Let's see. Oh, there's so many color choices. I think I'm gonna go with kind of a orange color, because purple and orange are complementary colors. It's the same as red and green. That's why they look so good together at Christmas. It's because that they're complementary colors. So, just coloring in Antarctica orange here, which seems kind of silly because it's covered in ice. But it's okay, you guys can color your globe any way you want, just like I am today. Okay, so there's Antarctica. I'm gonna color in, this is a bit of Australia here I need to color in. There's a little island there and a little island there. Get the southern tip of South America. This is Africa here, that little bit, and New Zealand. And the rest of Australia. I'm just going to add a couple of waves in here to make it look more like water. Right. And we got all of our water done here. So just like that, we've got the bottom half of the globe done. Now we're going to do the top part. And if you look at the top one, so you should see number 2. Do I have it upside down? Nope, 2. And so do you guys know what this place is right here? That is North America, and that's where we live. So this part here, all of this is Canada, and we live in this area right there. So make sure to color all of your land orange. Color in all orange. And don't worry if you're not coloring as fast as I am. Everybody colors at their own pace, and that's totally okay. Great thing about videos is that you can pause them and come back to them at another time. And make sure you don't forget to color in all of the little islands. When I was drawing out this map, it was crazy how many little islands there are, and there's so many islands that were just too small I couldn't even draw them on here. So I'm sorry to everybody who lives in countries that I didn't get on here because they were too small. So there is North America, the top part of North America, all colored in. Now I'm going to color in Baffin Island here. That's part of Canada. Now I'm going to color in Greenland right here. And right beside Greenland is Iceland. Now we can start coloring Europe and Asia. So if we look here, this is Europe here, and then we've got Asia over here. So I'm going to start coloring in Asia, and I'm going to start coloring in Japan. Japan is way over here. Start coloring, and then we've got Korea, South Korea, North Korea. Start coloring in China and the rest of Asia here. Again, make sure you go around all those little tiny islands. Don't miss any parts. And it's okay if you color onto the flaps because they're going to be folded, and so we don't actually need to see those ones, or need to see that. So it's okay if they get kind of ugly. I know mine are going to get ugly. I color on them. Alright, now I'm going to start coloring into Europe. Here, don't want to forget Sweden and Norway up here. And we're going to do Great Britain and Ireland. That's a place that I've been to. It's a very pretty place. And I know Tara, she's been to lots of different places. I know that she went to university in Malta, and Malta is so tiny, it's not even on this map. It should be right where I'm coloring now, but you can't even see it. And I'm coloring the top of Africa here too. Great, so we're coloring around the Mediterranean Sea, the Caspian Sea here. My social studies teacher always said that you can remember which one is the Caspian Sea because it looks like Casper. It kind of does look like a ghost. Alright, and then we're just going to color the North Pole in here. There, so we've got all of our islands or continents done. Now we can start coloring the water. And there's not a lot of water on this one. It was mostly land. So make sure you color in all of these seas that are in here. Color around Italy and Greece. And then all of these oceans. So this right here, I'm going to just start coloring the Atlantic Ocean. So the Atlantic Ocean separates Canada, North America from Europe. If you ever go to the east coast of Canada, that is the ocean that you would see. You guys know the name of the ocean on the west part of Canada, on the west coast? What that ocean's called? It's the ocean you would see if you go into BC, go to Vancouver or Victoria. That ocean is called the Pacific Ocean. And Canada is really special because we have 3 oceans that border us. So we have the Atlantic, like I said, and the Pacific, and there's one more ocean that we have that touches Canada. And that is the Arctic Ocean, and that's to the north. And you would definitely see polar bears in the Arctic Ocean, around the Arctic Ocean, hunting for some seals. Alright. Time to color in the Pacific Ocean here. Almost done this one. Great. Okay, now I'm over by Russia, coloring in that section, and the ocean around Japan. We're so close to being done. Good, and I'm just going to add some waves on here again. So here is your second one all colored in. The next one you're going to work on is this one here. So this one has Africa and South America. If you guys look really closely, these fit together because they used to be part of one place called Pangaea. So we're going to start coloring the land orange again. So a very, very, very long time ago, all of the land on the earth was in one big land mass called Pangaea, and as time went on, all of them separated. And they're still separating, and some of them are coming closer together. Happens very, very, very slowly. So when the dinosaurs were alive, they saw a very, very different world than we did. There were different plants, but all of the continents were very different too, because they weren't all split up like they are now. Alright, so I'm just coloring in Mexico here and South America, and now I'm going to color in Africa, the middle part of Africa. Missing kind of the top bit and the bottom bit here. There's a lot more ocean on this piece than there is on some of the other ones. And as you guys are coloring Africa, you'll see another island off the coast of Africa, and that is Madagascar. And if you ever want to see something really interesting, I know I've done this, is go and look at Madagascar on Google Earth, because there is hardly any towns or cities in Madagascar. You just see lots of nature. So that is Madagascar right there. And if you guys have seen that movie Madagascar, that's where it's supposed to be set. All right, now we're going to do our water. And there's so much water on the earth. And there's so much of the ocean that we still have not explored. Alright, so I'm going to color in the Gulf of Mexico now. I'm going around, coloring in around the Caribbean. Coloring in the rest of the Pacific Ocean, or sorry, the Atlantic Ocean. All the way up. Around Africa. Oh my goodness, I'm going through my pencil crowns very quickly. And just around Madagascar now. Alright, so you should have something that looks like this now. And our last piece we're going to color is this one right here. So we are going to start by coloring in the top part of Australia here. Now, do you guys know of anybody who has immigrated to Canada from a different country? Maybe your parents came from a different country. We're going to be coloring in the Philippines here pretty soon too. Have you met anybody from the Philippines? Alright, color in all of Australia there. Alright, don't forget to color in all of the little islands that we have here. You know, most of these islands have more people than Canada does all together, even though Canada is a much bigger place. Okay, and now we can start coloring in, I'm going to start coloring in India here. Got Thailand in there too. And this is the last little bit of Africa over here too. Can't forget this piece. And the last part of Asia. Now we can finish off with our water, our ocean. So this is all the Pacific Ocean here. Coloring in where the Great Barrier Reef is. That's where Finding Nemo is set. Have you guys seen Finding Nemo? I love that movie. Or Finding Dory. Alright, color around all those little islands there, and around Australia. Almost done. Oops. And there we go. So now that all of our pieces are colored, we can cut them all out. So I'm actually going to start cutting with the one we just finished with. And I'm just going to cut along the outside edge. All the way around the outside. And now we have one piece. And let's do this piece next. We'll do number 3 next. We'll do backwards. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. There's our next piece. And make sure you keep these pieces because we're going to use them later. And now we're doing number 2, which is this one. Number 2. And so we're going to cut along the outside edge. Do you guys remember which country is on this one? Or which countries? Canada is on this one. So we're going to cut this out all the way around the outside edge. All the way around, almost done. So for this one, we have to do something a little special. Is we have to cut up here. So we're cutting along that tab there. So that tab is free. And we're going to do the same thing on this last piece of paper, or number 1, the first one that we colored. Try to get as close to the lines as you can. It's important that you try to cut as precisely as you can to get the nicest icosahedron that you can get. So again, we're going to do that cut again, just right there. So now we have all of our pieces cut, and we are going to do our next piece here. So I'm just going to get rid of these guys. And you guys are going to want to pull out your ruler again, or straight edge. That works perfect too. So take out your ruler, and you're going to want something pointy. So you could use a thumbtack, you could use a pen that doesn't work anymore, or a really sharp pencil. I'm going to use a craft knife, and I'm going to very, very gently take my ruler and my craft knife, and I'm going to put it along the edge, the lines on my piece of paper, and gently push down with my X-Acto knife to score the edge. And this is going to make it a lot easier to fold later on, and it's going to make our folds look so nice, like we got them professionally done. So we are just going to do it along all of our folds here, and there are quite a few on the top and the bottom one. So make sure you don't miss any, and don't press too hard or else you'll have a tab that will fall off, and that's no good either. You want to make sure our tabs stay on, because they're what holds our globe together. Don't forget that inside flap there. And I think I got all of them. Great. So I got them all done. Now I'm going to start folding, and I'm going to fold everything in. So I'm going to fold in, 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 in. Make sure you fold that tab in. And then we're going to fold in, in, and in. Great. So you have this now. So we're going to put some glue onto this tab and glue it like this so that we have a nice pentagon shape made out of 5 equilateral triangles. So let's put some glue on there to that inside flap. Great. Here you go. So we've got the bottom part of our globe done. Now we can do the top part. So here you go. And again, we are going to take our ruler and score all of those edges. Score. Oops. And this does take some practice, so if you're getting frustrated with it, you can always just pause this video and come back to it at another time. You never know, how much a break can do you good. I know that that's something that I learned a lot when I was younger, is you need to take a break. And that was always my mom telling me that too. So take a break and come back to it later when you're refreshed. Okay, so now we're going to fold all of these tabs in again. So we're going to fold it in, 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 and then all the bottom tabs in, 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 and that's done. So we're going to take this tab and glue it behind here to make a pentagon again. So I'm going to add some glue, and we're going to put that together. Great. So now we've got our North Pole and our South Pole done. We just have to do the middle part of our planet. So we're going to take these 2 sheets right now, and we're going to glue them together first. So you take this, and we're going to glue the part that says glue to Africa, and we're going to glue it to Africa right here. Glue it to Africa. And just stick that on there. So you've got this really long piece here. Really, really long piece. And you're going to take your ruler and score all of these edges, and there's a lot on this one. Lots of zigzag back and forth. And do all the other side. And last score. Alright, let's fold. Fold inwards. Make sure you fold all of them in. Done. So now we can start assembling our globe. So we're going to take our, let's start with the top part, our North Pole, the one that has Canada on it, and we are going to line this up here. So you're going to want to find the end of this, end of your piece, and you're going to line that up right here. Just see this tab? This piece doesn't have a tab on the bottom, so you're going to line it up to the end of that piece there, and we're going to glue that on there. And if you need help doing this, it always helps to have an extra set of hands. So you can get one of your guardians, your parents, a sibling to help you, help each other out make these. So now I've got that piece, and now I'm just going to glue all the way around my globe. We're gluing, this is like the equator, the middle of the globe. Glue this all together here. Okay, so I've got Africa done. Now I'm going to do Asia. Oops. Good. And this part's just ocean there. So we'll just put some glue there. Right, kind of got this weird shape, kind of looks like a tent. Now we can start putting on the bottom of the globe. So we are going to line up, let's see here, we're going to line up the tip of South America with the top part of South America. So this piece here lines up just like that. So we're going to glue this on now. Glue that on. So it should look like this. Great. And now again, we're going to just go all the way around our globe and glue all those pieces in. All of those tabs. Great. Here's my next one. Here's another one. And last tab. Here we go. Let's put some glue on that. And dun, da, da, da. We have 19 sides now. 19 sides, but we've got a hole right here, and we need to fill that with something. So this is the part where we're going to put our middle parts in here. So on this globe here, if you shake it, you'll notice that we have the flags of the world all inside of this globe. So, and in this one that I made earlier today, I actually put foam balls in it, and it looks really cool too. You can try to find the flags in there. So we are going to cut out all of the flags of the world here on these 2 sheets. And I know it looks like a lot, but we can do this together. I believe in us. And I think I have misplaced my scissors somewhere. Where did those? Ah, here they go. They were right in front of me. All right. So we are going to cut out all of these flags. So the best way to do it is to do it all at once. So I'm going to take both of these pages and I'm going to cut them at the same time. I know, I'm a rebel, so I'm going to hold them with my hand, hold it really steady, and I am going to start cutting along the outside edge first. And if your page starts to move, the bottom one starts to move so it's not lined up anymore, just stop cutting and kind of readjust it. This takes time and lots of practice, but it makes it so much easier cutting when you are older and you have this skill, because then you can cut all these things all at once. All right, so we've got our 2 sheets of flags, and now we're just going to cut the strips down. So let's start cutting these guys out. Make sure that they're all lined up. And no worries if you can't do this too. You can cut out each page by itself too. You also don't have to cut out all the flags. You could cut out the flags of the places where you've been, or flags of countries you want to visit, or maybe it's the flags of your ancestors. So if I was to put the flags of where my family came from, like my great-great-grandpa, it would be from England, from the UK, and from Ireland. So I could put those on here as well. So there's another strip. We got a couple more to go here. And there's a whole bunch of countries on here that I don't know very much about. That's for sure. This is a good way to learn about all of these places in the world. And some of these flags are really pretty. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there are people who study flags. And they study which flags are the best in the world, and they score them. And Canada has one of the highest ranked flags. Our flag is awesome because it's easily recognizable and it's got a very pretty image on it. So we're quite lucky to have such a beautiful flag. So I'm going to take my strips of paper and I'm just going to cut all these little tiny flags right into my globe here. Now if you're making your globe out of just the equilateral triangles, you don't have the printable, and you're wondering what you could put inside your globe, you could make this like a magic 8-ball. So you could write a bunch of answers. So yes, no, maybe, try again, things like that. And then you could shake your globe, and whatever answer it lands on is the answer that you get at that time. And that is actually Tara's idea. Tara came up with that idea. All right, so that's the first bunch done. Let's do some of these guys here. What countries do we have here? Ooh, Germany. I got all the G countries here. I got Georgia here. Oh, and now France, Finland, Fiji. And one more strip. And some of these flags are really pretty. And not all of the flags are flag shaped, like a rectangle. Some of them are like triangles. Mongolia, Monaco, Moldova. These are all the M's here. And doop. So those are all of our countries inside here. And there are a few more countries on our template page, so don't forget to cut out those. I'm not going to put those guys in today just because I don't want to waste too much of your time. So we've got all of our countries in there, and this is a time where you could put in those styrofoam balls like I did earlier, or glitter, or whatever else you want to put in there. And now you're going to need a plastic bag or piece of plastic, whatever it is. And we're just going to cut this plastic bag open here so that we have a clear sheet of plastic. So I'm just going to stick my scissors in here and cut along the edge. And then on the bottom. And then along the last one here. Whoop. Ta-da! I've got a clear window. Get rid of this because it's got writing on it. We don't need it. And you're going to get your permanent marker. And you're going to go find that piece of paper that says template on it because we're going to need that now. One that has the hands. So we're going to trace out our template onto this piece of plastic here. This is going to be our window. So we're going to take a marker here and we're going to draw it out. And you might want to tape your plastic down onto your template before you start tracing because it is kind of movie. It moves on you. And once you've got that done, you should have, I don't know if you guys can see it, the outline of your window. So we're going to cut this window out now. Cut the window out along our line here. And this one's a lot trickier to cut than paper, this plastic here, because it kind of rolls all over the place. Alright, got our window, and now we can attach it to our globe. This is one of the last steps, guys. You've made it this far. So we're going to take our glue, our hot glue, or you could use double-sided tape. I find that glue sticks or craft sticks don't work so well, so we're going to use our hot glue gun. And I am going to put a bead of glue, a long line of glue, all along one edge. Don't do all the edges. I'm only going to do it along one. And I'm going to stick this right on top. Make sure you got it all lined up there. And then just press down. I'm just going to peel off any of these little strips of hot glue I had. Alright. So now we can do the next side. So we're going to again put a long strip of glue. All the way down, press down, make sure it's on there really good. We don't want any of our flags falling out from the middle of the world. And our last one, so this one's a little tricky because you can't flip it up. So you're just going to kind of bend it back and then add that glue on there. Great, and then just lay that on. Great. So now you've got this, but you have these like flaps here. We don't want the flaps. So I'm going to cut them off with a pair of scissors. So just try to cut as close as you can to the edge. You can get one of your parents to help you with this because this part's a little tricky. And last one here. There you go. So now we've got our globe, and when you shake it, whoops, shake it here, you've got all these countries from different countries around the world. So we need to make one last thing, and that is the base for our beautiful globe here. So you're going to want to get add this sheet here, and you're going to want to get your base sheet. If I can get it. So this is your base. So you can color this. I'm not going to color mine. I just want mine white. So I'm just going to cut it out here. All the way around the outside. Here's this. And now you can score these edges. It doesn't really matter too much on this because it is the base. It's not what everybody's looking at. So I'm just going to fold with my fingers here. I'm just going to fold on all those black lines. Just keep folding, fold all the way down so that you've got 5 different sections on here, and then we're going to glue this tab onto the end of the other side, making a pentagon shape. Got lots of pentagons and triangles today in our icosahedron. So here's our pentagon, and when we set that on the table here, set that on the table, this, our globe, should fit just nice on there. Nice. So there is our globe sitting nice and fancy on its base. Now you can also cut out these hands here, and you can glue them on either side so it looks like they're holding up the world. So that's another option for you guys to do. And you can do lots of fun games with this globe. So you can shake this, and whatever country you land on is the country that you have to learn about that day. You can also shake it, and whatever country you land on, you have to try to find on the globe, or get your parents to find. You can test them too, see how well they know their world geography. You can also make dice with these too. So if you go onto our website, we have the printables for these, so you can make a globe, or you can make just a dice. So I made a 20-sided dice here. So I've got all the numbers from 1 to 20 on here. And you could roll this, you could come up with your own game with this. And I know lots of people who play role-playing games use this. This is called the D20. So you can play games with this, and it is lots of fun. So those are just some of the ways that you can use these dice, and they are pretty cool. Or you can just display it in your room, because you guys did an awesome job making these. And I forgot to say at the beginning of our video, Tara revealed in the video that we did earlier today what the items were from the mystery suitcase. So I just wanted to recap that before we go. So the first item was that wood box, and it had the part that came up and down, and that is, it's a butter press. So what they would do is they would put the butter, after they finished churning it, into the press, and you would press it down and compress all the butter into a block, and it would squeeze out all of the buttermilk. And that's the same thing that they do when you go to the store and you get a block of butter in the store. They've pressed that butter down and squeezed out all the buttermilk. And we're actually going to be making butter in I think it's week 4 we're making butter. So you guys are going to get a chance to do that, which is really neat too. And then the second item was that it was metal, and it kind of had a nozzle and then a tank, or like a tin at the bottom. And that is a railway blowtorch. And I had a guy come into the museum, and he dropped that off, and he tried to convince me that that was his admission into the museum, was that blowtorch. So I get lots of very, very interesting people coming in, and we get lots of really interesting donations like that butter press or that blowtorch that Tara showed you from the mystery suitcase. So thank you everybody for bearing with us during today, as we were trying to figure out our internet connections and trying to find a nice norm for our quarantine. You guys are so awesome, and we're so lucky that we have each and every one of you watching this. So make sure you stay tuned for next week. We're doing some really cool things. So on Tuesday, we are making glow-in-the-dark constellation cubes. and they are very cool. I absolutely love them. Tara's going to be doing that, and Tara's also going to be showing you guys how to make a sundial and how to make a sextant. So that's a tool that David Thompson, the first European who discovered Hinton, used to map Canada. So you can make one of those, and she's also going to be talking about what life is like for astronauts and what they have to go through to get up into space and to see the stars. And then on Thursday, you guys are going to have a art class with me, and we are going to make this beautiful painting of a bison at night. So I look forward to seeing all of you guys then. If you are watching and you did not purchase one of our packages, but you're interested in supporting the museum, you can go onto our website at www.northernrockiesmuseum.com and click on the donate button. Any little bit really helps us, especially in this time, but we totally understand if you can't. That's why we put up these programs for free, because this is a very interesting time for everybody.